I'm reading an excerpt from my novel Good Mothers Don't with permission from Nimbus Publishing. The book is available through your local booksellers, through Nimbus Publishing, through Indigo, and through Amazon. Harmony House, 1975. I am well now. When the pink dawn draws near to my bedroom window, I take comfort in those words. For a long time, I wouldn't have been able to make that claim, but now, if someone were to ask, "How are you, Elizabeth?" I could reply, "I'm very well, thank you," and I'd be right, and could show proof if need be. Still, there are times when I'm uncertain about that claim, when I fail to remember something so simple, or when a kernel of fear spouts in my chest, sending out gnarly vines that spread far and wide, or when a whispered thought comes into my head when I hadn't been thinking of anything in particular at the time. The hospital says I'm well, and so does the doctor who signed my release forms. They said that more than 5 years ago, and no one in their right mind would argue their own wellness when it's been clearly stated as fact, and neither should I. They released me, the same authorities who declared me well when dandelion seeds were blowing in the wind. There was a field of them along the route we took the day I came to Harmony House. I hadn't seen a dandelion for years, let alone a field full of them. Soft gray balls of fluff trembling in the wind, their downy pips flying out across the air. I smiled and imagined that I might like to chase after them had we not been going at such a speed that I couldn't cry out for the car to be stopped. That would not be the behavior of someone who is well. Wellness brings with it a certain responsibility, a promise not to act in a particular way or to say things of an inappropriate nature, so I watched and imagined and smiled until we were well past the field of dandelions, with Mrs. Weaver none the wiser. "You can go home," the doctor said the day I was declared well. He was smiling as if this suggestion would have me leaping for joy. Home was a word I hadn't uttered in years. I feared for the longest while no such word existed for me. Or maybe it did exist in some strange out-of-the-way place, one no one would tell me about. For sure it was some closely guarded secret, and somehow intended for my own good. "Where is home?" I said, sitting across from the doctor. I looked down and stopped myself from fiddling with the hem of my dress. I wondered if he knew more than he was letting on. He was a young doctor, too young to be in charge of my life, yet I accepted what he said, even with the reservations I felt inside. They would send me home, no matter where that home was. It was time to release the secret they'd been keeping from me all these years. "You're ready to re-enter the world, Elizabeth. That's all you need to know at this point." His words caused my knees to tremble, and I crossed my legs to tame the uneasiness hammering away inside me. I didn't want the doctor to see how jumpy this made me in case he reversed his declaration of my wellness. His smile didn't wane, but neither did he look directly at me, as if he didn't want to see that far into the future, my future, the future that suddenly seemed murky and undefined. What was waiting for me in this future he spoke of? Even he didn't seem to have the answer to that. "Someone will make all the arrangements. No need for you to worry about any of it," he said before he left me that day. I spent the next few weeks wondering about this someone and the arrangements they were making for me to go home. Home. I had a home one time, one that hadn't been arranged. I must have. Everyone does. Step by step, we build our lives with every choice we make, every thought we think, everything we feel, and all the people we encounter. But that life, my life, was gone. I had no idea where. Places cannot stop existing, yet it seemed that home, or at least my home, had done just that. Now there was nothing but a vague sense of familiarity lurking deep within me, a tangle of stale memories that I fought hard to remember. Flashes and flickers, small bits of the past moved like static in my brain as I waited to start my life over again, and I began to wonder just how important those flashes and flickers might eventually prove to be. Some nights I couldn't shut them off. I'd toss and turn and wrestle the unknown, certain that something or someone would prevent me from ever seeing home.